You go to a hotel, order a coffee or a tea. You get your coffee in a paper cup. You happily drink it and then put the paper cup that you put into a dustbin. And I want to ask you a question here. So, have you ever wondered what is the amount of the energy and the carbon emissions that happened before something got to you, and after you use that post your usage, how much is the amount of carbon emissions that it is going to cause? If you're not thought about this, let me give you an example with the paper cup as one of our main culprits in this particular video. So I think generally a lot of us drink coffee or tea. It's part of our daily rituals. So even when we are in an office setup, when we are in an outside setup, there is going to be a lot of coffee and tea that is being drunk by a lot of us, and it is a habit that we have made. And one of the derogatory habits, I think, is the uh, one habit where we are using single-use paper cups or use and throw paper cups as one of our ways in which we consume the coffee, the medium in which we hold it until we consume it. So the most important idea here that I want to push is that our paper cups are not a sustainable way of drinking your coffee and tea, and it's not at many times safe for you as an individual. So the best thing that you would do is that you could take a tumbler or a ceramic cup with you when you're at the office, so that you completely eliminate the usage of the paper cup. Why is it such a big menace? I will explain. So a paper cup is made from paper. So essentially, it's not just paper. So there's a thin wax layer coating on the inside, and also there are plastic layers on the inside in between paper layers. So this makes it absolutely unsustainable. It is not recyclable. So any paper that you generally use that you get as a newspaper is recyclable to a standard number of times, depending on the quality of the paper. But the paper cups are not recyclable because once you put coffee or tea or anything inside it, it gets termed as mixed waste because it's neither wet waste nor is it dry waste properly. So it is mixed waste, and mixed waste usually gets dumped into landfills. There are no easy ways of recycling this because the amount by the time the waste reaches the recycler, there's already a decomposition setting in terms of the material that is there as wet waste, your coffee, tea, or whatever, that the milk inside is already getting rotten. So it is very difficult to move this out, move the say material that is wet waste out of this container, and also to get this back to a recyclable format. Because it is very difficult to remove the paper layer with an in between plastic layer that is present, so it is always put into the landfill because it is not viable for us to recycle this. And just on an average, just imagine, so in an company, in an IT company in Bangalore, there are more than 3,000 to 4,000 employees that are working there. On an easy average, around 300 to 400 cups per day, paper cups per day are used to drink coffee and tea. And so 300 to 400 per day, that's around almost around 2000 paper cups a day, all sorry 2000 paper cups a week, and almost around 8000 paper cups per month. And if you move that to a year, it's almost around 1 lakh paper cups a year. And all of these 1 lakh paper cups are single use, so once they're used, then they can no longer be reused. So they are just put into the dustbin from your end and then collected and put into landfills later. The landfills, the problem is that the paper eventually decomposes, but landfills are waste stacked on one on top of each other, and then basically put a mud layer on top. So there's a very high chance this is going to lead to anaerobic decomposition. Anaerobic decomposition produces methane. Methane is 85 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide and methane both are greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gas increase in the atmosphere causes more global warming. Leads to essentially also leads to global warming. Also, there's a very high chance that since there's methane being produced, small pockets, there's a very high chance that the landfill itself can catch on fire because methane is highly flammable. So it just needs a little spark, and the entire landfill can get burnt. So there are many other waste that get put into a landfill, biomedical waste, even sometimes wet waste, dry waste, a lot of other things. So burning it is going to cause a lot more damage to us, leading to asthma and a lot of other things. So if in case you reduce your paper cup usage, so take your own steel tumbler, or take your own ceramic cup wherever you are using it. So this automatically reduces the number of paper cups that you're using. The number of paper cups that you're using also reduces the number of paper cups that have to be made. It means it also reduces the number of transportation, that is the number of times the transportation has to be taken from one place to another to get a paper cup to you. And also it reduces the number of trees or that are cut to make these paper that eventually get turned into paper cups. So it is definitely a better alternative to have your own steel cup, steel tumbler, or also your ceramic cup or ceramic mug with you whenever you're going to the office or you're going outside, such that you can reduce your wastage, reduce the wastage that gets generated with these materials, and essentially also going to give you a better opportunity at saving the world.